Welcome to the channel. I'm Sunny, and on the eve of Elder Scrolls Online dropping for Google Stadia, I wanted to touch on some questions you guys still might have about this upcoming launch. So in this video, we're going to talk about Eso Plus, what it is, and if you should invest in this game with a monthly payment. We're going to talk about the release time for the game as well, and my final thoughts on Elder Scrolls Online for Stadia. But with all that said, let's get started. Now follow me on Twitch, where I will be streaming Elder Scrolls Online on a weekly basis on Stadia as well as other games. Make sure you follow that link down below, as well as subscribe here on YouTube, where I'll also be streaming when I don't have video content. But let's start this video off with some information quickly that I got from the awesome team over at Elder Scrolls Online. The game is set to release at 10 AM EDT. Now this was sent to me as an estimated time, so keep that in mind if something changes. But let's get to the real crux of what this video is about. Now if you guys haven't watched my last video on all you need to know about the upcoming Elder Scrolls Online Stadia launch, please do so. To recap that video quickly, you will be able to cross-play with PC players. You can also switch between both the PC and Stadia seamlessly, and also purchases that you make will work for both platforms. If you guys want more in-depth information on all those topics as well as more, please click on the top right hand of this video. But with all that, I left out an important note that some of you are asking me about, and that is about Eso Plus. Now, if you're unsure what Eso Plus is, it's a tier that is completely optional and not necessary to enjoy the base game for a while. What it does is give you positive benefits that could be useful for your journey in the game. Now, most games of this genre type will have an optional subscription model that are essentially an extra way to support the developers for a game that never ends and has continuous content. Now, in some cases, these aren't always optional, and you need to be subscribed with a monthly payment to even access or enjoy the game, despite even previous purchases. But with Elder Scrolls Online, that isn't necessary. Now let's get into the pricing, and then I'll explain the benefits and my ultimate thoughts as if you guys should go down this path and be an Eso Plus member. Now the pricing here is simple, and it will be able to be purchased through the Stadia store. 1 month gets you $14.99, 90 days will get you $13.99 with the total upfront cost at $41.97, 180 days, which is half a year, is about $12.99, and a yearly subscription sets you back at around $11.67 a month. But keep in mind that while the longer you choose your subscription for, despite getting good value, you will be paying the upfront cost of that discounted value all at once. So a 6-month subscription would set you back at around $78, but you can do what I do and just go with the 1-month subscription currently at $14.99 and not have to pay as much at the start. Especially if you're still wondering if this is a game that you'll be playing for a long time and one that you want to continue to invest in. Now at this point, if you're wondering why should I go down this route and pay extra money to play a game that I have access to free with Stadia Pro? Well, let's dive into that. Now, with Stadia, what you get with being a Pro member, you get the base game plus the Morrowind DLC. That right there is plenty of content, and it should last you a while. But if you decide you want to venture past that content, being an Eso Plus member nets you all the game's DLC, the game's previous DLC, with the exception of the brand new one that just came out in Greymore. So instead of having to buy each DLC on its own, which can get very pricey and cost upwards of hundreds of dollars, you can simply choose to become an Eso Plus member, and you get instant access to all that content. Also, to touch on some of the little perks you can get extra bank space, 10% increase to golden experience, bonus to crafting, exclusive dyes and costumes, but one of the coolest things you can get is crowns, which can be used to purchase mounts, outfits, or even some of the DLC, which then you can get later when you stop your subscription and continue the content with what you've purchased. These crowns can also be used on unique in-game houses that you'll own, furniture. The list is pretty endless with all the things you can get. Now you can earn rewards and things of that nature in the game as well without spending a dime, but this gives you the opportunity through the store to purchase some of the unique things you can't find in the world or your friends don't own, or something that you just don't want to grind for and farm for. But now keep in mind, once again, none of this is necessary to play the game or enjoy a lot of the game's content. but it's a great way if you're enjoying Elder Scrolls Online to continue to support the devs and support the game. With that said, let's talk about if I actually recommend becoming an Eso Plus member. And honestly, the short answer to that is maybe. It really depends. And my honest recommendation would be to start playing the game first, invest a decent amount of hours into it, know if you're going to enjoy the game. If at some point you decide, man, I just can't stop playing this, or I'm just enjoying it so much, at that point, I absolutely recommend becoming a member, even at the $14.99 a month, as that is what I did when I heard it was coming to Stadia and I wanted to play it before the Stadia launch. You get a lot of great perks that don't make a huge difference compared to a non-Eso Plus member, but it gives you enough of a boost that I like and that I felt I needed to be able to enjoy the game at the pace that I wanted to, and to be able to grab extra cosmetic goodies and items is just the cherry on top. So my final verdict for those wanting to know what this Eso Plus stuff is all about: go for it if you want to support the developers and you're enjoying the game. Otherwise, enjoy the ride that is Elder Scrolls Online, because the content without spending anything more than the base game is absolutely wonderful. The last thing I'll mention is you don't ever need to become an Eso member, but if you want to invest in the game and its purchases, you can simply just buy the crowns and buy direct the content or the goodies you're looking for. But alright, with all that said, I'm extremely excited for the launch of Elder Scrolls Online on Stadia, as well as diving into these adventures that should be an absolute blast. And while I think this game will be turning some heads soon for those who have never played an MMORPG, let me know down in the comments if you still have questions, if you're looking forward to playing Elder Scrolls Online, and if you're going to become an Eso Plus member yourself. Make sure to click the links down below, follow me on Twitch where I'll be streaming this live, subscribe to me on YouTube for more Stadia content as well as Elder Scrolls Online streams, and like always, I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the cloud.